November 18th meeting of the Finance Committee. We'll call the meeting to order. All right, the first item on the agenda is I'm sorry, is there any public comment?
No, sir.
All right. First item on the meeting is minutes from the August 14th, 2024 Finance Committee meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes as submitted by staff for the August 14th, 2024 Finance Committee meeting.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second? Yes. All right. All right, any questions on that? All right, all those in favor signify, raise your hand, please.
He has to vote audibly.
Yes, okay. Thank you. All right, second item is the contract award for the long-term water quality monitoring. Mr. Burrows?
Yes, sir. This is a required permit activity. We're required to maintain what's known as a watershed protection plan, which monitors the upstream and downstream water ways that we discharge near. And so there are wet weather and dry weather samplings, and this is for all three facilities. Integrated Science and Engineering out of Savannah has done this plan for us for many years. They handle the sampling, analysis, and reporting of this plan for us. The three combined at the three wastewater plants total is $79,275. This is budgeted in the three individual plants operations budget. It was asked at the Facilities Committee meeting last year's total was between $70,000 and $75,000. So this is a slight increase over last year. However, this is still the staff still wants to move forward with IS&E because they handle all this and they've done this for years and we're comfortable with their performance thus far.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I move that the Finance Committee recommend to the full Commission approve a contract award to Integrated Science and Engineering for fiscal year 2025 watershed protection plan in the amount of $79,275.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All right, thank you. Any discussion on this item? We discussed this earlier, and this is a requirement from the EPD that we have to do. And we do upstream and downstream sampling, and the reality is that our downstream sampling is cleaner than the upstream. So we are actually leaving things in better condition than they get to us. So, all right, any other questions this matter? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Yes. Okay. Did you vote yes? Okay, that 3-0. All right, item number 3, capital equipment purchase, 2 truck cranes. Mr. Burrows?
Yes, sir. This was a line item in the fiscal year 2025 budget to replace 2 cranes on the back of lift station trucks that are used to lift pumps out of submersible stations. Most of our stations just have a wet well and an electrical panel, so there's no way to lift the pumps out without these cranes. And so we considered 3 different manufacturers for this and landed on moving forward with purchasing 2 cranes from Dealer Vehicles Accessories in the amount of $54,800. The original estimate for this that was included in the budget is $70,000. So this is significantly under budget, and so we'd like to move forward with the purchase as provided.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on this matter.
Mr. Chair, I move the Finance Committee recommend to the full Commission approve the purchase of 2 electric service cranes in the amount of $54,800 from DVA Fleet Dealer Vehicle Accessories.
Or is there a second? Second, yes. Thank you. Any discussion on this matter? Again, this is something we talked about a little earlier. It's obviously necessary, under budget, and they will be installed by the vendor. Is that
That'll
correct?
be installed by the vendor, yes, sir.
All right, replacing ones that are old.
Already on there, yes, sir.
Right. All right.
So the service bodies and everything are ready to go. We just got to take the old cranes off, put the new ones on.
All right. Do they do it here, or do they have to go?
We had take it to Savannah, wherever
Is it
they're
Jacksonville
doing.
or-
I don't know if these are out of Jacksonville or Savannah. These are Jacksonville?
Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right. All right. Any other discussion? All right. All those in favor? All right. Thank you. All right. Item number 4, the famous valve exerciser.
Yes, sir. So this is another capital equipment purchase that was budgeted in the fiscal year 25 budget. This is the first of our capital equipment items that came in over our budgeted amount. However, just off the last item, the overage is well within the combined amount for capital equipment purchases. This is a valve exerciser for water distribution. It also has vacuuming capability to clean out the risers as they get coated with dirt over time. And so what this does is allow us to set the exact amount of pressure we want to use on those valves so we don't break the valves, to allow us to exercise our valves so that when we need them, they are ready to go. So the cost to purchase a valve exerciser from Vermeer Southeast is $86,709.15. And as discussed at the Facilities Committee meeting, our goal is to operate every valve in our system at least once a year.
That number is,
I don't know the exact number, is 4,000 or 5,000 valves in the system. So
this equipment
this will be
well used.
Well used, that's correct. And the existing one was bought in 2006, and replacement parts are no longer available.
We've gotten our money's worth.
We have gotten, well, the city got their money's worth out of that one.
The city did. Oh,
The
that's right.
city
We
bought
didn't
this
buy
one.
that one. Okay, right. So, all right. I'll entertain a motion on this matter.
I move that the Finance Committee recommend the full commission approve the purchase of one valve exerciser in the amount of $86,709.15 from Vermeer Southeast Sales and Service, Inc.
Is there a second? Thank you. All right, any questions? We actually, in the meeting earlier, saw a video of it in operation. It is quite an interesting piece of equipment that obviously is going to be well used and will save us money because we won't have to replace valves
That's
that
the
are
hope.
broken. So, all right, any other discussion on this matter? All right, all those in favor? All right, thank you. All right, and then the last item here, we have number 5, the contract award, Academy Creek influent pump base replacements.
All right, so this item has a little bit of history. In September of last year, we decided to purchase 2 new flight influent pumps for Academy Creek. Originally supposed to be delivered in December. We did not receive them until early May. We went with the flight pumps because they assured us that they could match the existing bases for the existing Yeoman pumps that were in the hole. We received the pumps, installed them. They did not match the existing bases, and Flight has been working since early May to try to come up with a solution to match the existing bases, and they finally come to the conclusion the bases will have to be replaced, and Flight has agreed to provide us with the bases and reducers necessary to hook the new bases up to the existing pumps. That's approximately $25,000 worth of materials, and they have also discontinued the charges for the bypass equipment that has been in place because these pumps are not currently functional. This is a quote from BRW Construction to install the new bases they are providing us. Flight does not provide that service, so what we'll do is shut down one side of the influent wet well, replace the bases in that side, and then we'll be bringing to you in subsequent months purchase requests for 2 more new pumps to replace the older pumps at Academy Creek. And we'll make sure one of the requirements will be they will have to match the new bases as they go in. So this is the cost to replace all 4 of the new bases, install the reducers, and failed to mention this at the Facilities Committee, but also install the new 3-inch guide rails for the pumps. So long time to get here, but hopefully this will be rectifying a situation, and we'll have all the pumps in the hole, and we'll be able to remove the bypassing equipment in the very near future.
Guide rails are permanent?
Guide rails are permanent. They're just metal cylinders that run down, and that guides the pump down. There's a claw that goes down behind it so that the pump lines up to where it's supposed to line up. It doesn't actually do anything but give you a guide, literally, and then when it sits on the base, it doesn't do anything, but you don't really want to go trying to fish down in there and make it hit the base it's supposed to hit with a pump that weighs that much.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on this matter.
I move that the Finance Committee recommend entering into a contract with BRW Construction Group LLC to perform the replacement of the influent pump bases and associated work at Academy Creek Water Pollution Control Facility in the amount of $55,465.
All right, is there a second?
He said.
Yes? Okay, good. All right, any discussion on this matter? I think at the earlier meeting, we indicated that these were really essential for the operation of this, of the plant. That's where everything comes in at the beginning. There's 4 of them, not optional at all, so.
Yeah, pretty critical.
Right, and if you ever went on a tour of the plant, you would see just what we were talking about, because the flow continues on, so it has to be directed in there, so. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor? All right, that's 3-0. Thank you. All right, now we're up. Ms. Wilson, the financial reports.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We have before us the financial statements as of August the 31st, 2024. The audit, I'll give you an update on the audit. It is still ongoing. We did we've done an entry this week. We will have one tomorrow. We're still waiting on the pension entry. We need some more documents from GMA before that can be calculated. That will probably be the last one. So we are on the downward slope of this audit. Spoke to Trey Scott. He will be here at the Finance Committee meeting in October to present our audit. And we are starting to pull together a few of the items we need for the MD&A, so it's all coming together, slowly but surely. First up, we have our balance sheet. Oh, I will mention, we still have June 30th, 2023 numbers on here. Next month, when the audit is approved, then we'll transfer that over to the June 30th, 2024 numbers. It's a lot of work to have those numbers in there and then keep changing those as we do accruals and that kind of stuff. So we'll wait till the audit is complete to change those numbers. Our cash and cash equivalent, a little over $4 million. The unbilled revenue increased slightly from 1.766 to 2,125,000. Prepaids, and by the way, that 2.1 million is our June 30th number. It will stay that all the way through the year before we recalculate that again at the end of next year. Prepaids, 608,000. Our inventory down to 1.4 million. If you look down to the trustee held accounts, our construction fund, that is our 2021 bond. We started off with a little over 15 million in September of 2021. At the end of fiscal year 23, we had 11 million left. We are down to 7.3 million as of June 30th, 2024, and we've had a draw since then to bring us down to 7 million. So pretty much 4 million a year is what we've used to date on that. Construction in progress, 25,993. The June 30th year-end number was just a little over 24 million. So we've done a little bit of, but the work is being done. It's the timing of getting the pay apps in and processed and posted to the system. So there's always a 2 to 3 week timing issue there at the minimal. Down under current liabilities, under unearned revenue, the 4 million that is listed under the June 30th, 2023, that is the 4 million that Joint Water received from the county in ARPA funds. The one caveat to that was the village drainage project. For those funds, the use of those funds, that was $217,325. When those funds were used, we had to move that out of unearned revenue into revenue because it has been used. So that brought that down to $3,769,000. There was also $13,000 on the land acquisition that we had to count as revenue from that 4 million. Page 2. Not a lot there. I will just mention the customer deposits payable, 3.1. It has been hanging around that number. It drops a little, raises a little over that 3 million, but that 3.1, that's kind of where that's been hanging out now. We have had a lot of new customers into the system, so they have to meet the criteria of being a customer in good stead for so many months before that deposit will be refunded. Any questions? Okay, on to page 3. Summary revenue. Operating revenues, a little over 1.2 over budget. I will mention that the 634 on interest income is our investment income and overnight cash. So we're seeing good returns on that right now, so thank the Lord for that. The net operating, 431,000. Any questions on our summary revenue? If you'll move on to page 4, we'll do expenses. Our purchase orders to date, 1.5 million. That includes operational, new blanket purchase orders for the new year, and any contracts that will, for yearly contracts, annual contracts that we have in the system that we draw against. That brings our operating expenses due to the POs over budget by $781,000. But it gives us a net revenue before capital fees of $87,142. I will mention that there is a allocation error on, wait a minute, let me find it again. Debt principal. If you'll notice, for the 2 months year to date, it says 96,000, and we have expenses of 320. That is an allocation error. The total amount was added to that line item. It was just, it did not get into the monthly allocation, and we looked at entry monthly, so that will be corrected tomorrow. Any questions on our expenses? Okay, on to supplemental schedule of cash balances. Again, we have our cash supplements a little over $4 million. This gives us a breakdown, 3.7 in our utility revenue. And again, that is where all of our cash receipts are deposited into, and we transfer out of that account as needed to the general payroll group insurance. The group insurance still has a minimum balance of $50,000 in there, and change in petty cash accounts, a little over $4,000, and that's to run customer service, and $100 in petty cash. Down to our elective reserves, our capital reserve, just a note, we do fund that at $300,000 a year, and we've done that annually for, I guess, since the institution of this capital reserve. It's been a long time. The R&R for this upcoming fiscal year 25, we are doing 8.99, almost $9 million is the plan to fund our R&R for next year's projects. On to page 6. At the bottom, just a note, all of our cash and cash reserves, $79,840,369. $53,911,000 is investments. If you'll turn to page 7, that will be the breakdown of our investments. Cash and cash equivalents, $7 million. Fixed income, which is our securities, is almost 46.8. Any questions on investments? On to page 8. This is our project report as of August 31st. Again, it's showing almost 1.7 million in expenditures for the month of July and August, and always there's a timing issue. If you might notice that there is a variance between the total on the expenditures here and what's on the balance sheet for construction in progress. That variance is a timing issue of a BRW payout that came in between running the two reports. So that was on project 2106 for that. Any questions on August financials? Okay, I did have a handout for our June. Again, we're still working on that. Our balance sheet, our accounts receivable for the year end is going to be a little over 2.1 million. That's pretty much what's of note there. On our summary revenue, again, a couple more entries. Really shouldn't affect the revenue side of it much, but it will on the expense side. Operating revenues, due to interest and other income, it's $6,928,287 over budget. Our net operating is $4,323,881. That does not include the capital improvement fees and the SPLOST revenue. capital improvement was 3.2 million, and SPOS revenues for the year is almost 3.5 million.
These are just preliminary numbers, right? They're not,
Most of these are outside of a reclassification and the pension entry. These numbers should be set.
okay, right. So then essentially, these are
want-
money that,
Sorry. Close to final, yes,
close to final, right, yeah, you're getting there, right?
yes.
Okay. So that means that what we've done is by saving money during the year, by being economically sound, we have some money that's going to be available at the end of the year to transfer to the new, for some things.
Should be, and that will be the
Right.
office of the director.
Right, the director,
Determination there,
right,
and
and then
office
have us,
and
yeah, then we'll make
finance.
it, yes. And I think it's wonderful that we've done that. I mean, you know, when you do a budget, you're just doing an estimate of what you think's gonna happen, and we live within our means, and opportunity to take this money and put it into things that are gonna be useful will be very beneficial to the utility.
Right. I will mention maybe 2-3 years ago, we thought we were going to have an available balance there, and then the pension.
That wasn't, it was the investments.
That was the investments where, yeah,
It was a
where.
fair market value adjustment
Yeah,
on the
I thought there was
investments.
one
Right,
on
yeah.
on the pension also one year, but
Right, yeah.
yes.
um,
So the
I-
fair market is being done on a monthly basis, so.
Right, yeah, so it's not such a impact at the end of the year, we have a sense, I do have a question, Dave. I noted, I just looked on my phone, and I see that the Fed's lowered the interest rate by 50 basis points today. So that will certainly have an impact on some of our fixed investments in the future.
Definitely. We'll have to see how markets react and how things shake out, and also how aggressively the Fed continues to
Right.
lower rates so that they should stay.
Right. Economy always surprises us. Definitely, so, right, well, like I said, this will be a good opportunity to take some of this money and put it into some things that are necessary for the utility, and I'll look forward to that. We'll get to make that decision next month.
Is the 353,000 in bad debt expenses, is that predominantly like customer accounts?
Yes,
Yes,
so that is aged customer accounts.
My understanding with that is that they goes to collection after a specific amount of time. Ms. Roberts, isn't that right? It goes to collections? Yeah, and so we do our best to collect what we can, and it's just the reality, so.
I do believe let me look at my notes here. Balance, it was, the net of allowance for bad debt at the end of 2023 was 21,000. For the end of 2024, it went up 100,000 to 121,389, based on our aging report. So,
Right. Yeah, well, we also had that program that helped people that were behind, and that made a big impact on them.
That's what I was
Yes.
wondering too.
Yes.
and unfortunately, we no longer have.
We don't have that, but we still may have some issues with it. Yeah, some people, yeah, understood.
And do we,
There's two different accounts. We're talking about the LIWAP program that they initiated. The feds did not re-initiate that program. People still contribute to the customer assistance program, yes, sir.
Yes.
do we currently accept online electronic payments?
Yes,
We do,
for no fee.
for no fee.
Any questions on those sheets? Okay, group insurance. We did do our year-end liability adjustment. It very, not, 10,000 maybe from last year's, not significantly higher. Our budget for 2024 was $1,664,900. We came in under budget at $1,584,378.09, which under budget by $80,500 on our group insurance.
Group insurance. And we've made changes in it too, so that we actually have increased our.
We're paying more of the claims than we were paying.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent.
And that's pretty much it for me. Any questions?
Any questions from you, Mr. Watson? Commissioner Watson? All right.
Thank you,
Thank you very
gentlemen.
much. All right. Are there any other things we need to cover?
No, sir, not for me.
All right. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay. All right. We are adjourned. Thank you.